Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A chemical spill causes major traffic problems in the San Antonio suburb of Converse. We have an update on cleanup this morning, just ahead.
North Korea making nuclear threats after a U.S. nuclear submarine docks in the Korean peninsula. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. Details coming up.
78 degrees at 4:30 this morning. Definitely another triple-digit day, but how high will it get? Mike will let us know in just a bit.
Always tricky to say. Triple-digit day. Triple-digit day.
One more time.
One more time. Happy Friday, everybody. It is July 21st.
Happy Friday. Happy to be here again with you, gentlemen.
Happy to have you.
Not too happy about another triple-digit day.
No, but we were down 1 degree yesterday.
Well, that's good.
We'll take, little small victories here, down a degree again today, and we're still looking at a couple of small rain chances this weekend. So not a sure thing by any stretch, but at least there's that chance this weekend. We got a lot of clear skies out there right now. And compared to this time yesterday, we are lower by about a degree or two. We're at 79 right now. I mean, it's not a big cold snap by any stretch. And also the humidity, albeit very high around Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, Randolph, is down just a degree. So just those little tiny bits of glimmer of hope, I guess you can say. 82 is the heat index right now, 83 up the road at Canyon Lake. We do have a low amount of mold, and throughout the rest of, by the way, CPS Energy, it is a yellow conservation day. Scan the QR code to find out more information about that. And 91 at noon, 102 high temperature today, and we do still have heat advisories that are in effect up until 8 o'clock tonight. No excessive heat warnings around the area, so that's little bit of good news as well, but you just got to take it easy with these temperatures up in the low hundreds, and at least the humidity does drop down in the afternoon. Going to talk about those rain chances that come in for the weekend. Like I said, not a great chance, but at least it does exist, and we'll see what's in store for next week as well. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Sarah, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. Things should be getting back to normal in Converse this morning after a portion of East Loop 1604 North was closed last night due to a chemical spill. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office says lanes were expected to open around 1 this morning. The incident lasted for several hours. This was the scene near JBSA Randolph Air Force Base. The southbound lanes at Miramar Lane and the northbound lanes at Lower Seguin Road were closed. So far, it's not clear what exactly chemical ended up spilling.
One person is dead after a big crash up in Kerrville. It happened this morning around, actually it would be yesterday morning around 11 a.m. Kerrville police say 4 vehicles were involved in the wreck. A 71-year-old man who was driving one of those vehicles died at the scene. Officers say 3 other people were hurt but are expected to be okay.
Happening this morning, testimony is expected to continue in the trial of Tejano star Jesse Farias. He is accused of sexually assaulting an underage girl. A relative who claims Farias touched her repeatedly and inappropriately. You can read more about the trial right now. Just head over to KSAT.com.
Now to the latest rising nuclear tensions between the United States and North Korea.
North Korea's defense minister is threatening to use nuclear weapons after an American nuclear-armed ballistic submarine docked in South Korea this week. As ABC's Faith Abube reports, the warning comes as the U.S. is still working to locate the American soldier who crossed into North Korea without authorization.
This morning, nuclear tensions between the U.S. and North Korea escalating as the U.S. shows its military support for South Korea. The North blasting the U.S. for, quote, reckless military moves after this U.S. nuclear-armed ballistic submarine docked in the Korean peninsula. North Korea's defense minister threatening possible nuclear retaliation.
Rhetoric like that, it's incredibly dangerous. We're not there to instigate.
This is the first time in 4 decades an American nuclear submarine has docked in South Korea. ABC's Martha Raditz boarding the USS Kentucky for an exclusive look.
This is where the missiles would be launched from.
Yes.
The Kentucky is capable of carrying up to 20 nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles, each of them carrying up to a dozen nuclear warheads. The U.S. military says it's a reflection of American security commitments to South Korea as it fights back against North Korean aggression.
Are you worried about the possibility it could backfire?
I am very confident in our own nuclear deterrence.
The nuclear submarine is more than 200 miles south of the DMZ, or the demilitarized zone, the border that divides South and North Korea. This is where the Pentagon says 23-year-old American soldier Travis King intentionally crossed over into North Korea this week without authorization. Since King was taken into custody, U.S. officials say they've been unable to reach North Korean authorities to secure his release.
We want to bring him home. We don't know his condition. We don't know where he's being held. We don't know the status of his health.
And as for the nuclear warnings from North Korea, the Pentagon says the U.S. is committed to peace and security in the Korean Peninsula and that the threats only deepen the U.S. cooperation with South Korea. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
The U.S. is deploying thousands of Marines and additional forces to the Middle East. That's according to an announcement from the Pentagon. The move in response to recent Iranian attempts to seize commercial shipping vessels. Earlier this month, the U.S. stopped Iran from seizing 2 tankers in the Gulf of Oman, including one instance in which an Iranian vessel opened fire on a tanker. The Pentagon did not specify which forces would be deployed, but the deployment will likely consist of 3 ships and approximately 2,400 U.S. Marines.
Florida Governor and presidential candidate Ron DeSantis is stepping into the Bud Light LGBTQ plus controversy. DeSantis is urging the state's pension fund manager to consider legal action against Anheuser-Busch. He says the company violated legal responsibilities to its shareholders when it decided to align its marketing with what DeSantis calls radical social ideologies. The beer maker launched a social media campaign to promote Bud Light with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Some customers were so outraged they boycotted the brand, tanking sales around 30%. In March, Florida's pension fund held 682,000 shares of Anheuser-Busch.
Across the world to Australia and New Zealand, Women's FIFA World Cup and the first day of matches. Australia gets the 1-0 win over the Republic of Ireland. New Zealand beat Norway 1-0. And 2-time defending champ USA actually going after 3 in a row. They'll face Vietnam tonight. If they can win it all again, they will be the first women's or men's team to win 3 straight World Cups. US Vietnam will play tonight at 8 p.m. San Antonio time. Right now, 437, 78 degrees.
With the constant high heat can come countless car problems. Up next, what you need to do this morning so you don't end up on the side of the road later.
Speaking of the roads, let's take our first look this morning out there, see how things are looking at I-10 at De Zavala. No problem. Roads are very, very dry. Of course, an absolute scorcher. AC has a hard time keeping up when you're stuck in traffic in the afternoons.
It really does. AC also has a hard time keeping up around between like 3 and 6 p.m. It's just working overtime indoors as well to battle these triple-digit temps. Mike says we might be down a temp today and a slight hope for rain this weekend. He'll explain when we come back.
Welcome back, 440. Because of the extreme heat, auto shops are seeing more dead batteries, flat tires, and barely working air conditioners. We were just talking about this.
Oh my gosh, 12 on your sides. Marilyn Moritz shows us what to look for so you don't end up stranded on the side of a very hot road.
It's blowout season on Texas roads. Blistering 160-degree road temperatures can be brutal on tires.
This one does have some cracking on it.
Paul Hoogie at Thousand Oaks Automotive says worn tread is not safe.
You have a tire that does not grip. You have a tire that does not have very good traction in wet weather, so it's very dangerous. It also becomes a blowout hazard when that happens.
He has a handy tread checker, but
if you don't have one of those tools, just get out a penny. You put it into the tread, and if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, it's time for new tires.
Proper inflation is huge. Low tires create more friction and heat, but be careful, he says, not to overinflate.
You never want to put the tire at maximum PSI.
Under the hood, the thing the heat really saps, that battery.
It's supposed to be 3 years.
Brian Vollmer says heat affects the fluids and decreases the battery's capacity.
You look at this battery and it doesn't look that bad. But when I tested it, does fail according to cold cranking amps. So in the near future, somebody's going to go out to start this car if I don't replace the battery, and it's not going to want to start.
Next, check that coolant. If it's low or dirty, it can't properly cool the engine. And check the hoses. They can dry and crack. And finally, how's your car's AC?
If it feels like it's not up to par, chances are you're probably low on Freon or you could have a leak.
Bottom line, to keep your car humming in the heat, preventive maintenance and park in the shade. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, Stephen Cavazos preaches about that as well. Try to get ahead of any maintenance issues. 442, 78 degrees.
As we deal with the heat, you can definitely tell how much the water has gone down at Canyon Lake. Up next, why the Army Corps of Engineers says the levels will likely drop faster.
Up next, new information from the search warrant issued this week for the 1996 murder of rap pioneer Tupac Shakur.
Police in Las Vegas are revealing new information about the search warrant connected to the murder of Tupac Shakur. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look. New details from the search warrant issued this week for the 1996 murder of rap pioneer Tupac Shakur.
So this is the biggest development in the Tupac murder case since this all happened, since the murder happened.
ABC News learning the search warrant executed Monday in Las Vegas was at the home of Dwayne Davis, known as Keefe D, just miles away from where Tupac was gunned down during a drive-by shooting. ABC News has exclusive video of armored vehicles driving down the neighborhood street just after 10 p.m. And we'll have much more on the search warrant and what it means for this infamous cold case coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Back here at home, Canyon Lake approaching some historically low water levels. The reservoir currently less than 3/4 full.
As Garrett Berger tells us, we could start to see those levels drop even faster.
The sun-bleached rock and dirt ringing Canyon Lake show how far the reservoir's waters have pulled back from the shore as the relentless heat continues to beat down.
Man, it's low. We need some rain bad.
There's no rain falling at the moment, and the dam has to continue to let water flow downstream. Plus, there's evaporation. And with the lake shrinking, the Army Corps of Engineers says the levels will likely drop faster.
Just like if you have a puddle on the street, the smaller the puddle gets, the faster it evaporates.
Right now, the lake's about 14 feet below conservation pool, or what you'd consider full. Last year was low too, but it was still right about here. But we're also only a little more than 2 feet away from an historic low.
With the water as low as it is, most of the 23 boat ramps around the lake have been shut down.
That means that the few boat ramps that are open are going to have very long waits and are going to be very crowded.
But that's not what we found this afternoon at boat ramp 17. Tony Sanchez is at the boat ramps a few times a week. He says waits have eased some by, as his account, fewer people come out. But he warned the weekends are still pretty busy, especially trying to leave.
If you're lucky, an hour and a half, maybe if you're lucky, an hour, up to about 2.5 hours.
So some still find some benefit.
Places like this at Boat Ramp 1 are normally blocked off to people swimming.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Taking a look outside with the roads this morning. Tenant de Zavala looking good there. Really not. Are there some flashing lights down there? Maybe some construction lights, TxDOT lights down there in the distance.
It's way far. I see what you're talking about, but
yeah.
It's way off there in the distance, so I'm not sure.
But if anything pops up, we'll let you know about it.
Because construction sites have flashing lights like that these days. Some, as a matter of fact, my subdivision, the camera that watches the gate now has police-type flashing lights, I guess, to let people know that it's under surveillance. Right. Interesting, right? Yeah. All right, anything but to talk about the heat this weekend.
What movie are you going to see this weekend? Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Team Barbie.
Yeah, I'm going to Oppenheimer tomorrow afternoon.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, and that's a 3-hour movie.
Yes.
I don't know if my wife knows that yet or not.
Don't tell her to the last minute.
I know. I have to remember not to get the big big soda
big
as well.
Diet Cokes.
No. So anyway, looks like Mr. Sun is winning and the grass is going. I think you're fortunate to still have a lot of green grass out there. My backyard, wow, it is just a nice, even, beautiful shade of kind of a tan out there. But yeah, we definitely need some rain, obviously. We've got a little bit, but talk about flashing lights. First of all, over there at 410, it appears to be on the westbound lanes of I-10. Something going on there. Obviously, Steven's going to be checking that out in just a couple of minutes. Yeah, there's a lot going on right there underneath the interchange. All right, back to the weather, and with the humidity is actually that much lower this morning. Dew points have dropped down a degree here in town compared to yesterday. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, those little bits do make somewhat of a difference. And of course, then the humidity will drop down later on this afternoon. So that's the plus side. The one bright spot that we can enjoy, even though we have these hot temperatures, is the fact that, yes, the humidity is finally starting to mix out in the afternoons, unlike what was happening a couple of weeks ago. Here's what's going on this morning. Pretty much same temperature profile as yesterday. We've got a lot of sunshine this morning. We'll make it up to 91 at noon, 102. So yesterday was down a degree from the previous 3 days, and then today will be down 1 more degree. I know it's not a lot, but at least it's something. All right, jump ahead to tomorrow. And that big high that's kind of dominating things is starting to talk about this all week long, how it's starting to scooch off to the west a little bit. So around the clockwise rotation, we're getting into a little more of a north to northwesterly flow tomorrow. That's going to grab, or little disturbances look like you're going to be riding down on that, giving us the chance for 1 or 2 showers in the later afternoon hours going into the evening, maybe a clap of thunder as well. Now, this is going to be few and far between. Again, the optimum thing is don't get your hopes too high for rain. If you don't get any, don't be too disappointed, unfortunately. But there will be just 1 or 2 of them around the area. Then I want to jump ahead into Sunday, different computer model. And this one is a little more bullish as far as seeing a little bit of rain trying to pop up late in the afternoon on Sunday. Some of these sea breeze showers as well. And there may be 1 or 2 of them hanging around here on Monday on top of that. And then after that, it looks like that's going to be it as far as any rain chances. So 102 today, same thing tomorrow. We've got that chance for a couple of afternoon showers tomorrow, 1 or 2 of them. Maybe a little bit better chance on Sunday, 101, but after that, starting off next week, we're still going to be definitely on the hot side all the way through the rest of the week. Perhaps by next weekend, another little minor shift in the overall pattern to, let a disturbance come in here from the Gulf, but that would be the extent of it.
Okay, I feel like we're kind of at the end of July, even though we're not really there. And then we just have 1 more month-ish. And then maybe we'll see 90s again, right?
The hottest day ever has been in September.
Okay, you're not helping, Mike.
She tried. 452, 78 degrees.
Okay, break out your best pink outfit. Barbie is now in theaters. Up next, the review so far and why it's expected to have one of the biggest opening weekends of the year.
Let's take a look at lotto numbers. Pick 3 numbers, 551, Fireball 8. Daily 4 numbers, 2411, Fireball 3.
Cash 5, 12, 15, 19, 22, 26. Texas 2-step, 13, 21, 32, 33, 27. Today is a day you get to see the new Barbie movie in a brand new Barbie world.
It's the song, I think, is what they're playing off of.
Okay, got it.
For the latest of what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Break out your best pink outfit. Barbie is now in theaters. The Pepto-Bismol colored comedy is expected to have one of the biggest opening weekends of the year, at $100 million or more in North America. Issa Rae plays President Barbie in the film, and in an interview before the actors' strike, she told us it required all of her acting ability.
I've never been the president before. I couldn't believe that. Not president of high school. I ran, and I wore a superhero costume and said, I'd make a super president, and I think that's to turn people off. They were like, she wants it too bad.
Also expected to do well in theaters this weekend, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, with more than 40,000 people already booking back-to-back Barbenheimer double feature tickets. So, which to see first? Oppenheimer stars Matt Damon and Emily Blunt have thoughts.
Oppenheimer first, and then if you're feeling destroyed, you can sort of get a little boost.
Yeah, that sounds
right?
good. I like that.
If everything fires on all cylinders, this could be one of the biggest opening weekends at the box office since before the pandemic. Drake getting in on the professional pickleball craze. He and Creed star Michael B. Jordan just invested to be part owners of the Brooklyn Aces, one of the teams in Major League Pickleball. LeBron James and Mark Cuban are among other investors in the league. And happy birthday, Keely. Ted Lasso star Juno Temple is 34 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's 457 and 78 degrees.
Up next on GMSA, why an independent film about human trafficking at the box office is sparking conversation and action in our community.
A 10-month-old is the latest victim of extreme heat. Up next, reaction from police after they say a babysitter inadvertently left the girl inside a hot car.
And checking the roads with TransGuide, we do have an incident out there. Eagle Eye Acosta over here spotted this from a distance. This is 10 West near the Callahan area, if I recall. We're going to check in with Stephen Cavazos coming up in just a moment.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, why advocacy groups are calling for better treatment of the 12 migrants that were found inside a trailer earlier this week.
Outside with Live Cam, Mike is talking about the smallest chance at a shower or the storm in our extended forecast, hopefully by the end of the weekend. Good morning, everybody. We made it to Friday. It's July 21st.
Happy Friday. Happy to be here again with you, gentlemen.
Glad you're here, too.
And not too happy about, just the triple digits that just continue to rain down on us without rain.
Well, there are things we can control and things we can't, right, Mike?
Indeed. And, well, I'm, trying to look at the glass being half full, although a lot of it, the water in the glass is evaporating. But we did drop down 1 degree yesterday. I know it ain't much. And then we at least have the lower humidity in the afternoons and that small rain chance to talk about. More on that in a second. 78 right now. So we are actually a little bit down from where we were this time yesterday. The dew point is also down just a smidge. So the heat index is at 80 as of right now. 102. So shave off 1 notch compared to yesterday. We'll take those small little steps. The aquifer, this is always kind of scary to wait for this graphic to pop up to see how much it went down, another 0.6 of a foot in yesterday's reading, and mold is on the low side. So yes, we do still have somewhat of a heat index around parts of the area this morning. Feels like 80 here in town. 83 up the road at Canyon Lake, but these numbers are definitely lower, slightly more comfortable when you step outside this morning, so that's a benefit. We don't have any excessive heat warnings on the map today, but they do have the heat advisories in effect up until 8 o'clock tonight for a good chunk of the area, except for portions of the hill country, and that's just because, again, those temperatures that are in the low hundreds, but we don't have the heat index on top of that. So warm and humid this morning, although down from yesterday. 102, the lower afternoon humidity. Now we go into the weekend, still low hundreds around here, and there will be a couple of showers, couple of storms. Again, the thing is, you can't get too excited about rain chances. If you get 1 or 2 of them, great, but don't be overly disappointed if you don't see any rain this weekend. And then next week, it is just more triple digits. Anything like another pattern change beyond that? We'll take a look ahead in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, good morning, sir. Got a couple of flashing lights out there, right?
Yeah, Mike, and I think this is something Sarah spotted earlier, and I think this may have also been on your live cam. Let's get a closer look at TransGuide. Flashing lights, this is actually underneath I-10. Spoke to our friends at TransGuide about this issue, and you can see not a great shot, unfortunately, but we can definitely make out those flashing lights out in the distance. Unfortunately, guys, this does look like a crash that's being reported, and it's right underneath I-10, as you can see here on our map. We're starting to see a little bit of a buildup out there just before Callahan Road. I talked to our friends at TransGuide. We're going to monitor this situation very closely, but you could see that buildup isn't too bad this early in the morning, but nonetheless, let's hope everyone's doing okay. It is very dark and early out there, so if you have to travel through that route, make sure to watch for those first responders. Overall look at our metropolitan area shows a pretty quiet morning. Of course, we had some of that overnight construction that wrapped up, and also we had that spill along Loop 1604 that shut down those lanes for several hours. That has since reopened, and you should be in the clear for the most part. If you are traveling into San Antonio, it's 30 minutes along I-37 northbound from Pleasanton, and the same goes from Highway 90 heading eastbound from Castroville, and about 18 minutes along I-35 northbound from Lytle. But again, the big problem, at least for right now, will be here at I-10 West at Loop 410. Pardon me, this is just the shot at TransGuide, but this is reported near I-10 and but just before Callahan Road. Again, I'm going to watch it closely, and I'll have another update for you coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Mark.
Thank you, Stephen. Questions remain after a body was found in a duffel bag yesterday in the middle of a property near Loop 1604 and Rockport Road. It is now the center of a homicide investigation. So far, Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says the remains are not enough to indicate whether it's a man or woman or how old the person was or how long the remains have been there.
Advocacy groups are calling for better treatment of the 12 migrants that were found inside a trailer Wednesday night. Advocates say they are often dehumanized when it comes to justice and legal rights. Those 12 migrants were taken overnight to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection Processing Center. That's coming after officials found all of them crammed into the tractor of the big rig.
Part of the discussion that you're hearing right now, regardless of your views, is what exactly does it mean to seek asylum?
We still don't know the identities of those migrants, but we know they came from Honduras, Guatemala, and Mexico. The 53 victims of the Quintana Road tragedy also came from those 3 countries, and the truck they were discovered in was only a couple miles away from this scene.
An independent film about human trafficking at the box office, sparking conversation and action in our community. Southwest ISD Superintendent Jeanette Ball invited 160 of her staff to watch The Sound of Freedom, which is proving to be successful among critics and raking in millions of dollars so far. She hopes it provokes education about how to protect children in her district from human trafficking. Ball is already looking at ways to provide additional training for staff and parents.
Something that is happening in our backyard and something that we all have to work together as a team to put a stop to it.
The Bexar County District Attorney's Human Trafficking Task Force says they handle about 60 to 80 human trafficking cases each year. The majority of them are sex trafficking of teen girls on social media. Attorney David Lunan strongly urges parents to be vigilant of how their children are acting and the valuable things they are acquiring. Predators target people who are living in difficult economic situations.
Almost all of our cases is a young lady, again in her early teens, that is seduced. Okay? Seduced by offers from social media or in person of, I've got money you can make, I've got drugs you can have, I've got emotional support I can give you.
If you suspect someone is a victim of human trafficking, the local hotline to call for help is 844-843-6348. Calls are answered 24/7. Now the dramatic scene in Phoenix, Arizona, which is coping with record-breaking heat wave.
And much of the nation is sweltering. However, as ABC's Rhiannon Alley reports, fire crews in Phoenix had to go to work facing an entirely different level of extreme heat.
Last night, an extra challenge for firefighters in Arizona, a massive fire erupting in Phoenix, where it's never been this hot for this long. The fire breaking out at this propane tank business next to the Phoenix airport. Explosion sending hundreds of propane tanks flying into the air like missiles.
We have evidence of propane tanks up to 500 yards past the ground zero where this is actually happening. We have hundreds of these scattered around the area. Absolutely, shrapnel is a concern.
The cause of the fire under investigation. The feel-like temperature, 119 degrees. Many local residents are keeping their thermostats in the 80s to keep utility bills down, especially between the hours of 4 to 7 p.m., the most expensive hours to use electricity. More than 100 million Americans from California to Florida remain under heat alerts. Miami is expected to see a heat index in the triple digits for the 40th consecutive day. In Jacksonville, a 10-month-old is the latest victim of the heat. A babysitter is charged with manslaughter after police say she inadvertently left the girl inside a car with temperatures in the mid-90s.
It's a tragic case with tragic consequences and will have consequences.
The water off of South Florida is so hot, it's now bleaching the coral, a vital part of the ecosystem.
If over tens of hundreds of thousands of years these coral have been around, people might say, well, come on, they've made it through plenty of marine heat waves. Not like this one.
But in California, these people cooling off, skiing at Mammoth Mountain, where snow is still on the ground after the winter's historic 715-inch snowfall. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
509, 78 degrees.
She checked everything, all the temperatures, everything was good.
Oh. The manager of a seafood restaurant tells Tim Gerber that with the steps he is taking to get his business back up and running after a fire and low health score. Up next, see the improvements made behind their kitchen door.
And Samsung holding its Summer Unpacked event next week. We'll show you which items could soon be coming to stores near you.
That snow in Mammoth, California looked amazing.
I heard rumors about snow out west, and there it is.
Very, very jealous. Definitely not the story here. 78 degrees at 5:09. Slightest hope for rain this weekend. Michael, let us know when we come back.
A local seafood restaurant trying to get back on its feet after a fire last month and a low score on their recent health inspection.
The manager tells Tim Gerber they've made some big improvements.
A grease fire nearly destroyed the J. Anthony Seafood Cafe in the 7200 block of Northwest Loop 410 last month. The kitchen area is sustaining significant damage, forcing them to shut down for repairs. The fire happened just weeks after the business earned a 76 on their May health inspection. They were cited for not following proper cooling procedures, including food in a walk-in cooler that was 170 degrees. Raw fish and octopus were also above the recommended 41 degrees, which was a repeat violation. There was mold-like buildup on the soda fountain ice dispenser and nozzles. No one washed their hands. One worker did change gloves, but without washing. I stopped by this week to see how they're doing after the fire and the corrections they've made. Manager Johnny Cruz pointed out several improvements.
We already put all the new ceiling tiles, the new lighting, just basic cleaning like up there.
He's hoping to do better on their next inspection, which he looks forward to.
It's a good thing, yes, because it keeps us on our toes.
Taco Nando, located in the 2800 block of Nogalitos, got a 72 on their May inspection. The business cited for leaving chorizo sitting at room temperature for too long. Pork chops were stored in a cooler that was too warm. Food containers, racks, and shelves all needed to be thoroughly cleaned to remove grease buildup. A worker dropped gloves, picked them up, then handled cooked tortillas with bare hands. There was a small roach in a sink, and several areas needed to be cleaned. A re-inspection was ordered. This week, the owner said he's made the corrections. Damassi Mediterranean Buffet in the 100 block of Southwest Loop 410 comes in with a 78. The buffet cold hold was too warm. The buffet for the pizza wasn't hot enough. There was black mold-like buildup in the soda machine ice dispenser and soda fountain. Several sinks were not able to produce hot water. The kitchen area was in need of a thorough cleaning. They were re-inspected. Eva's Cafe Food Service in the 200 block of West Mitchell got an 80. A bag of vegetables had to be thrown out because of mold. Buckets of diced potatoes were sitting on the floor. The inside of the ice machine had rust-like residue, and an employee was seen making tacos with their bare hands. A re-inspection was ordered. For Behind the Kitchen Door, Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
5:15, 78 degrees.
Up next, how Amazon is expanding its Palm-based payments system.
And checking TransGuide right now. Lots of flashing lights. 10 west at 410 on that camera there. We're going to check back in, get an update with Stephen Cavazos from right around the corner.
And we're done.
A couple building a table.
What about these?
Looks right.
The man tests the table and it gives out. His drink spills in slow motion towards the paper. The stickman on the instructions yells too.
Quick! The quicker picker-upper. Bounty absorbs spills like a sponge. And Bounty is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less and get the job done with 1. This works.
Kinda.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Had enough? No, arthritis.
Here, Aspirin arthritis.
Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation. Thank the gods.
Don't thank them too soon.
Kick pain in the Aspirin.
Save 15% on new school styles at old school prices, like kids' tees for $6.99 and under, jeans, and more. Plus, get these statement-making styles before they're gone, now at Kohl's.
5:19, happy Friday. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning. Want to just give a big shout out to our friends at TransGuide. I was over there yesterday doing a fun shoot with them. Got to meet a lot of folks that we talked to on the phone. And just to let you guys know, they keep their eyes on the road. So they are a big part of how we're able to bring you the news and the traffic updates like what we are seeing here along Loop 410. This is just the shot from TransGuide. It's the closest shot that we're going to have. I-10 West at Loop 410, pardon me. You can see those flashing lights off in the distance, and it does not look like we are seeing this clear up anytime soon. I did talk to our friends over there, and what they're saying is this looks like it could be under the main lanes of I-10 just before Callahan Road. I did see a little bit of a buildup out there, and that still seems to be the case along those westbound lanes as you approach Callahan Road. So be on the lookout. First responders are keeping busy to make sure they can clear this scene up, and hopefully everyone is doing okay out there. But the wide look of the map doesn't really show anything else going on. We do have a lot of that overnight construction that should be wrapping up, and we can expect more of it along Loop 1604 here in Northwest Bexar County. Quick reminder, the North Expansion Project will continue to see full closures. This time it will happen on Sunday, July 24th, and this carries us on to until Monday, July 25th. The work is overnight, so that's the good news. 9 in the evening to 5 in the morning, we'll see the Loop 1604 westbound lanes closed from Lock Hill Selma Road to I-10, as well as the eastbound lanes from Chase Hill Boulevard to Lock Hill Selma Road. A lot of information on your screen. You can scan the QR code that is now on your TV screen, and that takes you directly to our KSAT traffic page. We have a full list of all the closures in our area. But Mike, with that crash, I know you had spotted that initially on the live cam as well, so we saw a lot of those flashing lights out there in the distance.
I'm going to show this KSAT Connect picture first and then go to that one. This is a very cool shot of the Starlink, all those little satellites that are up there flying by. Beautiful clear skies at night. So we do have that lower humidity, and that makes it a little bit easier to see some of the celestial sights out there. All right, here's what we were just talking about. This is, again, this 10 westbound coming at us. So these are the westbound lanes of I-10 right there, and the interchange with 410 over there on the northwest side. So yeah, a lot going on, and a lot from this vantage point as well. So obviously, like Steven said, he's going to continue to track that. All right, here's the overall picture. That thing, that high, has been basically sitting on top of us, and it's almost plunked right down on the southwest there. That's one of the reasons why Phoenix is so high as well. So that high continues to work its way off to the west a little bit more, and basically not good news for them over there as that sits on top of Arizona. But for us, this gets us into more of a northwesterly flow as that moves off to the west. And so this is what can grab onto little disturbances and throw them on in here. So that's why we have the chance for some rain on Saturday as well as on Sunday. And Sunday, the Gulf is going to open up, or at least the door is going to open up to the Gulf, and maybe have a couple little showers move on in from there. But that thing's going to start to work its way back almost right on top of us. So that's going to shut off any rain chances going into the first part of next week, and also get us back up. We'll be right around 102. Maybe 101 this weekend, and then back up to right around 103 going into next week. Now, one thing that may be a little encouraging, again, it's still a week away, is as the high starts to stay off to the west a little bit, we get one of these waves coming in here from the Gulf of Mexico. So that potentially could mean when you get these little waves that would give us a chance for some rain by then next weekend. Again, that's kind of wishful thinking as of right now. Today, we are going to have a lot of sunshine around here, a couple of morning clouds. We work our way up through the 80s this morning, 91 at noon, and then 102 for high temperature. 103 yesterday, so we went down a degree each day, little tiny steps here. And over the next 7 days then, like I said, we stay 102, 101 over the weekend, 1 or 2 showers tomorrow late in the day, as well as on Sunday, we'll have 1 or 2 of them. And then we just kind of heat right back up first part of next week. So then, like I said, the hope for next weekend, perhaps another little couple of showers coming in there from the sea breeze. So don't get disappointed if you don't get rain this weekend.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, there'll be 1 or 2 of them out there, but most of us won't see anything.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. 523, 77 degrees.
Take a look at these lotto numbers. Pick 3, 5, 5, 1, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 2, 4, 1, 1, Fireball 3.
Cash 5 numbers 12, 15, 19, 22, 26. Texas 2-step 13, 21, 32, 33 with a bonus ball 27. And don't forget Mega Millions, the jackpot tonight, $720 million.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon is expanding its palm recognition technology to all Whole Food locations. Customers can pay for items just by holding their hand over a reader. The technology recognizes your unique palm signature, which is linked to your payment card. Critics have raised concerns about a company storing biometric data. Next, the buzz is growing ahead of Samsung's Unpacked event next Wednesday. The new products are expected to include the Galaxy Z Flip 5 and the Fold 5. The big upgrade for both is a new hinge that makes the foldable phones even thinner. And finally, Google is considering the use of artificial intelligence to write news articles. The company is reportedly in talks with the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal. Google says the AI tools are meant to help journalists, not put them out of work. You know, AI helped me finally publish that article on Einstein's theory of relativity. It was about time. Those are your Tech Bites.
That palm thing is freaky. Like, I do have money in my account. This will go through.
If you raise it up, it's more of a Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. These aren't the droids you're looking for. That's my best. Alec Guinness. 527, 77 degrees.
Okay, normally we have to pester Mike over the countdown to Christmas. It's 157 days, by the way, Mike. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
It really is 157 days.
However, up next, how the extreme heat this summer could already be affecting what kind of Christmas tree you can get. That's coming up.
And do you know what juvenile arthritis is? If not, that's why July is the awareness month for it. Up next, what doctors want parents to know about the symptoms and what you can do if you need help.
Plus, it's time for the Women's World Cup, and the U.S. national team is ready to take the fields tonight in prime time. A preview of their first matchup ahead on GMSA at 6 a.m.
Besides just uncomfortable conditions, rising temperatures are causing about $1 billion in U.S. healthcare expenses.
I think the public is growing in awareness. I think that's really important.
Up next, how this season's extreme heat could already be affecting which Christmas trees you get this upcoming holiday season.
Good thing my Christmas tree's already in the attic. 77 degrees at 5:31. I'm sure it is like just melting in the attic though.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because, you know, these temps.
It's a hot mess up there. Friday, everybody, it is September 21st. Not September.
Wait,
September.
what? Where are you at?
We're
July.
dreaming.
July 21st.
We're dreaming for December.
Because if it was September, it would be a lot less than 157 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas, September, fall.
You didn't put any Christmas candles, pack those away up in the attic, did you?
No. I
was going to say, because it'd be a Christmas blob after that. So. Anyway, we've got warm temperatures, warm and humid this morning, although we're down just a couple of notches compared to this time yesterday. It's slightly more pleasant when you step outside. And still over here it looks like a lot of the flashing lights may have moved on out. Steven's going to have more on that. We've been watching. There was an incident there on 10 westbound right underneath the interchange with 410. So like I said, he's going to have more on that in just a second. 78 degrees right now. So yeah, we are down a little bit compared to this time yesterday. Dew point is down just a notch compared to yesterday. But it's those small little victories, I guess you can call it that. It does feel like 80 right now, 83 in Canyon Lake. But then think about it. At this time yesterday, we had these heat index readings that were about 85, 86, 87. So, like I said, slightly more tolerable when you step outside. Mold is on the low side. We do still have some heat advisories in effect up until 8 o'clock tonight, just because of those temperatures that are up into the low hundreds. But again, we don't have those heat index readings that are going to be sky high today because the humidity will drop down once again later on this afternoon. We'll work our way up through the 80s this morning, 91 at noon. And yep, we are going to top off at 102. It was 104 starting off this week, 103 yesterday. We'll maybe shave off a degree today. And then the weekend, yeah, we're still looking at very small chances for rain. Again, the operative thing is don't get your hopes too high, but at least there will be one or two of them out there. We'll talk about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority. So that accident cleared over there by 10 and 410?
I was getting ready to show you, Mike, right here, I-10 West at Loop 410. Check it out. We had flashing lights out there earlier. Looks like they have already disappeared, which is a good indicator that crash has already cleared out. Now, we didn't have a great shot from TransGuide, but Sarah spotted this first in the morning, and then Mike's live cam caught some of those flashing lights as well. So we had multiple eyes on this. Our friends at TransGuide as well were able able to get a viewpoint here at I-10 West at Loop 410, but it looked like it was right underneath that interchange, as Mike just mentioned. It wasn't really causing a huge delay with traffic. Our map is still showing a little bit of a slowdown, but this was just before Callahan Road, and again, it looks like that is cleared out, so we're going to clear that from our map and show you an overall pretty quiet start to your morning. Looks like a stall may have popped up somewhere off of 410 near Bandera. You see that yellow icon on your screen. We'll find out what's going on there, but in terms of travel times, no delays, guys. 31 minutes, still green from Seguin along I-10 westbound, 33 minutes along 87 northbound if you are traveling in from Lavernia, and about a 32-minute drive time if you're traveling up from Floresville. Do also want to make mention we had that big closure along Loop 1604 due to a chemical spill between Lower Seguin Road and FM 78. According to Converse Police, that has already cleared out. You may have received a push notification, so better news to report there as well. We're going to continue to watch roads closely, and I'll have more updates for you throughout the morning. Guys.
Stephen, thank you. New this morning, a visit with a friend at a local motel took an unexpected, deadly turn for one man. Someone shot and killed him this morning. Our Katrina Weber is live near I-35 in Eisenhower, where San Antonio police are still investigating. So, Katrina, do they believe he knew his killer?
Actually, no, they think that the shooter was a stranger, someone who had his sights set on causing trouble. Now, this happened in the parking lot on the backside of this building. Police are still working there looking for clues. They say there wasn't much anyone could do to save the man. He was shot multiple times and died of his wounds. Police say the man and his girlfriend were here to visit a friend at the Wood Spring Suites, and they were hanging out in the parking lot. Now, witnesses say around 3:30 this morning, a stranger walked up and started bothering the couple, actually trying to grab the woman. He and the victim then got into a fight, which ended with the stranger shooting the boyfriend. Now, the shooter was able to get away in a black car, and that is about all that police know about him at this point. They say he was dressed in dark clothing, but he did actually get away. And again, they're still working there trying to find out whatever clues they can find to track down this person. Reporting live on the northeast side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
This summer starting out as one of the hottest ones in recorded world history.
And NASA says next year could be worse. As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, the weather isn't just making people sweat, it's also costing billions of dollars.
The climate crisis is upon us.
A new report shows last month was the hottest June on record globally, and ocean surface temperatures hit new highs for the third straight month. July is racking up new records, too. Heat advisories and warnings continue in much of the U.S. today. Scientists say Europe is under a heat dome, and now NASA is predicting next year will be even hotter.
I think the public is growing in awareness. I think that's really important.
A recent study shows rising temperatures are causing about $1 billion in U.S. healthcare expenses each summer, not to mention the cost of energy, wildfires, and lost crops.
You'll get a big old white spot. It just like burns a hole in the tomato. Tomatoes and apples are really the worst.
If we had not mulched all these trees and individually watered them 3 times while it was dry, a large percent of them would not have made it.
Scientists say even small steps can help, like using reusable water bottles or walking instead of driving.
If we work fast and work hard over the next 7 or 8 years, we will definitely be able to keep climate from becoming the dominant thing that really wrecks our environment and our economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Talk about extreme heat. Check this out. This was the scene near Phoenix's Sky Harbor International Airport late yesterday. About 100 firefighters battled heavy heat and smoke from a massive blaze. A fire department spokesperson says multiple propane tanks were exploding on the scene. Temperatures in the area were already 116 degrees, making the challenge of battling the fire even more difficult. Fire investigators can't say whether the extreme heat contributed to the propane tanks exploding. Despite the proximity to the airport, officials say there was no impact on airport operations. The cause is still under investigation.
This morning, Alabama has executed a man for the 2001 beating death of a woman. James Barber was pronounced dead at 1:56 a.m. after receiving a lethal injection at a South Alabama prison. The 64-year-old was convicted and sentenced to death for the 2001 beating death of 75-year-old Dorothy Epps. Prosecutors say Barber confessed to killing Epps with a claw hammer and running away with her purse. He was the first execution carried out in the state this year.
Right now, 5:39, 77 degrees.
Popeyes is adding a so-called girl dinner to its menu. We'll tell you how you can get it.
July is Juvenile Idiopathic Arthritis Awareness Month. Up next, what doctors want parents to know about the signs and the symptoms.
77 degrees at 5:39. Yes, it's hot. Let's just put a smile on, and we'll smile through Mike's forecast when we come back. Juvenile idiopathic arthritis affects nearly 300,000 children in the U.S.
July is JA Awareness Month, and doctors are wanting parents to be sure of the signs when it comes to arthritis in their children. The condition causes the immune system to become overactive and starts causing damage to the body. Most common areas would be in the joints. It can also damage the heart, lungs, eyes, kidneys, and skin.
Children as young as infants can suffer from arthritis. Dr. Thomas Rainey with Rheumatology Associates of South Texas tells us what parents should look out for when it comes to arthritis in young children.
These young children are going to have the joint pain and swelling. One of the main things that we look for is stiffness in the morning when they get out of bed. If it takes them 1 or 2 hours before they're kind of doing their normal activities, that could be suggestive of an inflammatory arthritis.
If you're concerned your child might be suffering from juvenile arthritis and are in need of resources, we have a link to help over at KSAT.com.
It's 5:43 and 77 degrees.
House lawmakers preparing to look into claims of a cover-up within the government when it comes to UFOs. Up next, why an Air Force veteran claims the government has a taxpayer-funded program that recovers and stores crashed alien spacecraft. Now to the quest to find out whether we are truly alone in the universe.
As ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports, Congress is about to examine the issue and whether the government is hiding something.
This morning, lawmakers are preparing to look into claims of a cover-up within the government when it comes to UFOs.
They keep telling us they don't exist, but they block every opportunity for us to get a hold of the information to prove that they do exist. And we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Congressman Tim Burchett says at a hearing next week, lawmakers will hear testimony from David Grush, an Air Force veteran who claims the government has a taxpayer-funded program that recovers and stores crashed alien spacecraft.
Non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
The Pentagon says an investigation has found no verifiable information to substantiate Grush's claims. Lawmakers will also hear from David Fravor, a retired Navy commander who recorded this video in 2004 showing a tic-tac-shaped object over the Pacific.
Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly.
Skeptics believe the sightings could be advanced drones or optical illusions. The military intelligence officer leading the Pentagon task force on UFOs says they're analyzing more than 800 cases dating back decades.
I have a full range of hypotheses. There's on this end of the spectrum, it's advanced technology that's coming from an adversary. Right? In the middle, I have all of my known objects, balloons and drones and birds and whatnot. And then on this end of the spectrum, we have extraterrestrials.
But Congressman Burchett says next week's hearing is all about government transparency.
We're not going to bring you in a saucer or a little green man, but the reality is the American public deserves to know.
The Pentagon has not commented on the hearing, which is next Wednesday. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Okay, check this out. Popeyes is in the business of TikTok trends, so the fast food chain has come up with its own version of the viral girl dinner, and it's now an option on its menu. The girl dinner is basically a personal snack plate comprised of existing ingredients in the fridge and pantry. Popeyes take on it is a variety of side dishes that have to be ordered individually, like mashed potatoes, Cajun fries, and biscuits. The special girl dinner tab is only available on Popeye's website.
Some moms are saying this should be called the mom menu because they usually are the last ones to eat and there's not much left.
And it's just like little.
Yeah.
I just want some fries.
I want a girl dinner right
mac
now.
and cheese. Yeah, that looks good. Their fries there are really good too.
I think what they mean by girl dinner being a girl myself, it's like you just want a bite of everything. Just like one bite,
just one bite?
of everything. So you don't have to order all this food. Just like a little bite of everything.
We can appreciate
Yeah, I was just talking to, like, I eat very, very heavy in the early part of my day, so maybe I'll go.
Get a girl dinner.
Well, I mean, but I want big portions, so that's what I want. But you know what? If you are off to go get maybe your girl breakfast, is that a thing?
Yeah.
That could be a thing. I don't know. I didn't even know that it even existed. But nothing should really slow you down if you're off to get your breakfast in the morning. Not seeing any big delays along 90 at Couples, east and westbound lanes. Just getting a little bit busier now that traffic's moving closer to morning rush. Need to clear out that crash along I-10 at Callahan. We had it reported earlier in the morning, and it doesn't look like we are spotting any more flashing lights, which is good news to report. But we will start to see some slowdowns here along I-10 in Kendall County a little bit later this morning. As a reminder, we have that sod placement that has been ongoing since Monday, and part of it's going to wrap up today. The work starts at 9 in the morning and again should finish around 3 in the afternoon. We will see single lane closures along the frontage road in both directions from State Highway 46 to Scenic Loop. But our morning commute started off a little bit rocky, but now, Mike, things look a lot better over here in my department.
That is good news. Hopefully it stays that way for the rest of the morning commute. I wonder if bubbles make it not feel as hot out there. It's a great picture, though, with Sergio chasing all the bubbles out there. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, actually, bubbles would be good in a nice cold tub, something like that. We've got some clear skies right now, and just one or two of those morning clouds are going to be popping up here. So far, and, well, this goes through yesterday, including today, we will be tied with 2022 with last year as far as the number of consecutive triple-digit days in a row. And I think we're going to be having a good shot at hitting number one, just looking at the forecast, because we do have a lot of triple digits, not only throughout the rest of the weekend, the rest of the forecast, and then even beyond that, looks like going into the first part of August. We are in the upper 70s right now. We're going to be warming up through the 80s this morning, lots of sunshine, 91 at noon, and then 102 for a high temperature later on today. All right. Here's what's going on tomorrow. Today, nothing out there, but we will have more of a northwesterly flow in the atmosphere, and there's a little disturbance that computer models are trying to pick up on. So that hopefully will touch off one or two of those showers, maybe a thunderstorm scattered about the area, and that's going to be the situation into the evening hours. Then once the sun goes down, all of that will be dying down. Now, another computer model jumping ahead to Sunday. This one is the more aggressive model as far as trying to get a couple of stray showers or thunderstorm popping up on Sunday, as well as something from the coastal plain. And then even going into Monday, maybe something here along the coastal plain. Wishful thinking, it scoots a little further inland. But the better chance, I think, would be probably on Sunday as far as a shower or two, one or two of them tomorrow. But the thing to take away from it again is don't get your hopes too high for any rain. It's going to be very, very few and far between. The high, which is sitting almost right on top of us, starts to work its way off to the west. That's what puts us in this northwesterly flow, and that's what's going to bring that little disturbance down here tomorrow afternoon. So fingers crossed for a couple of showers or a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon, and then again on Sunday. 102 today, same thing tomorrow. Sunday, 101, that small chance of rain. After that, just back to triple digits, and that streak is going to continue next week. We'll be back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the relentless heat. 100 million Americans now have heat alerts, and there's a new heat wave. So even the northern plains and Great Lakes that have been so chilly, really below average, not any longer by next week. We'll show you everything. And the rising tensions with North Korea, now threatening to use nuclear weapons. We are live from South Korea. And the couple taking the $10,000 savings challenge. They race each other to see who can do it first, and they'll share their tips this morning. That and so much more right here on GMA.
We have some very good news about our phone bank yesterday. Our KSAT community partners were raising money for Project Men, and we're happy to report we raised a total of $47,000. This is all leading up to Project Men's annual citywide donation drive this weekend. You can drop off any type of medical equipment at the Wonderland of the Americas Mall tomorrow from 9 to 1 p.m. That's be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, check out ksatcommunity.com. Project Men is the oldest, largest licensed nonprofit that accepts and, more importantly, repurposes medical equipment. Well, coming up, we spoke with a teen who's living with juvenile arthritis, how she's managed her biggest challenges since she was 7 years old. And up next, a pint-sized pitcher hoping a nationwide campaign at Major League ballparks helps shine a light on adoption for special needs children. And we've had only one or two very minor incidents that I recall in this last hour or so. We'll talk to Stephen Cavazos and get a look at the rest of your Friday morning commute as we get things underway with heavier traffic at 35 and San Marcos.